large sample test and one is small sample test. Now you know what is sample. Sample means it is a part of the population. So large sample means if the sample size is more than 30. And small sample means if the sample size is less than 30. Okay? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Um, I think you people are able to listen me now. So there we have two tests. One is large sample test and one is small sample test. Large sample test means sample size will be more than 30. A small sample size means test means sample size will be less than 30. I think it's okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now large sample test we use the Z test. Z that I'm just showing you. Okay. Test of significance for large samples. Large samples means when the sample size is more than 30 and the test is known as Z test, capital Z test. Okay, if you see Z is so and normal formula like x minus mu upon sigma. X means the value of that variable, mu means mean, sigma means standard deviation. Okay, so here two questions. One more thing is there, the range of Z statistics is minus infinite to plus infinite. So here three questions I may ask. The first question is, Z test is a large sample test or a small sample test? So our answer is, it is a large sample
Large.
test. Z test is large sample test. And why large sample test? Because the sample size is more than 30. Okay. The second condition is, what is the range of the Z test or Z statistics? So range of the Z statistics is from minus infinite to plus infinite. Okay. So up to this time, so I will ask, number one, range of the probability. Sunanda, Sunanda,
Yes, sir.
Sunanda,
Yes, sir.
what is the range of probability? What is the range of probability?
Sir, 0 to plus 1. Sorry, sir. Minus 1 to
0
plus 1.
to,
Minus 1 to plus 1.
this is the range of, Sunanda, this is not correct. Range of probability is 0 to 1.
Okay, sir.
Okay. We discussed in the class. 0 means the impossible events. 1 means the event 100% that will occur. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Sunanda, you have to do it. Okay. So what is the range of correlation? This is Surajit. Surajit, for here.
Yes, sir.
Range of correlation coefficient. Yes, it's very easy. That's why I'm many times they ask such type of question. It is from minus 1 to plus 1. Negative correlation to minus correlation. Minus 1 to plus 1. Okay. What is the range of regression coefficient? Re. Re, you are here. Re, deep. Deep Dev Burma.
Yes, sir. Minus infinite
What
to
is the
plus
range
infinite.
of regression coefficient? Yes, correct. So this is the range of regression coefficient. Okay. Now next, today we have discussed the range of z-test. That is also same as regression coefficient minus infinite to plus infinite. Okay. So z-test range is from minus infinite to plus infinite. And when that is used, that test is used when the sample size is like more than 30. You can say the large sample test. And one more thing you have to remember, Z test
Sir,
is used for comparison between two groups only. Z test is used for comparison between two only, well, two samples only. Yeah, two groups only, you can say. Like if we want to compare students of the second year, so that you can apply the Z test if the sample size of students more than 30 in both the class. Okay, so now what we discuss, large sample test, Z test, it is applied to compare between the two groups. And number third, the range is minus infinite to plus infinite, and the Z score formula is x minus mu upon sigma. Okay, I think these things are okay. Anyone? Okay, so now there is some assumptions when to apply the Z test. First is the population standard deviation is known. The samples must be large enough to use a normal sampling distribution. Means already we told that this is a large sample test. The samples must be randomly selected and the samples must be independent. Now here two things are there. The sample must be randomly selected and must be independent from each other. What is the meaning of this one? Gargi, the samples must be randomly selected. Gargi,
Yes, sir. Hello?
what is
Yes,
this
sir.
meaning of? I'm saying that samples must be randomly selected. What is the meaning of this one?
That, sir, like, the samples must be randomly selected. It means that there should not be, like, randomly selected means it should, the selection, when we select a sample, there should not be a procedure or, like, procedure to follow when you select a sample. Like, it should be just random. You can just select anything. That it means.
No, that is okay. We are following some procedure, that is okay. But what is the meaning of this one? If I'm saying random, we are selecting randomly. What is the meaning of this one? Okay. This one, bouquets. Bouquets. Okay, Gargi, you can, bouquets. No, Benjina. Benjina,
yes, sir.
I have discussed this one. Benjina, what is the meaning? I'm saying that the samples must be selected randomly. What it means?
Sir, it means that out of many other samples, you can just choose any one randomly. Maybe.
No,
Without
that I'm saying randomly. But yeah, what is the meaning of random? Anyone can speak. What is the
Every
meaning of this
sample has
one?
equal probability of getting selected.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah, Satachi, correct. What it means, if I'm saying samples are selected randomly, it means like in your class, if I say there are 79 students and we have to select 5 students. So randomly means every students have equal chance to be selected in moments in the 5. Because if I am just selecting from my choice, maybe I will be biased. So So random means everyone had the equal chance. So if there are 79 students in the second year class, so what will be the probability of each student of getting selected? Yes, Rasmi Saji. If there are 79 students,
Yes, sir.
if there are 79 students, what will be the probability of each student of being selected?
1 divided by 79.
Yes, that is correct. Yes, correct. So this probability same for all the students. If it is like this one, we say this is the random selection. Means every unit or every student have equal chance of being selected. So that is known as random sampling. So it should be there. Last one is the samples must be independent. What it means? It means all the samples which we are taking, that should be independent. Independent means that should not be correlated. That should be there. Means that should not affect each other. So these are the conditions to apply the JET test. The population standard deviation is known. Sample size should be large. It should be the samples should be randomly selected, and the samples must be independent. Okay. Now next is the student's t-test. Basically, 1 minute. This t-test. This t-test is same like the test, but there is some difference. Difference that JET test is used for the large sample test. Means when the sample size is more than 30. But t-test is used when the sample size is less than 30, 30 or less. That is small sample test. T-test is also used for the comparison between two groups. JET test and t-test, in both the tests, they are used for the comparison between two groups. But the condition is that in JET test, the sample size is large. In t-test, the sample size is small, that is less than 30. Okay? Hello?
Yes, sir. Sir, your voice is working. We cannot hear you clearly.
So nothing is
So,
audible.
okay.
Oh, your voice is a bit inaudible.
My voice is
Sir, your voice is
okay.
breaking.
Actually, basically here the 1 minute. Internet is like this one only. Okay, just 1 minute. Okay, later what one and now I told that connectivity even better. Somehow we are making okay. I will speak slowly.
Not audible, sir.
So t-test.
So maybe if you turn off your camera, I think network will be better.
So now, 1 minute. Okay. So again, I'm telling t-test. T-test is used for the comparison between two groups. Here, the test with the JET test is that in t-test, the sample size is less than 30. In JET test, the sample size is more than 30. But the range is same in both the tests. JET test ranges from minus infinite to plus infinite. And t-test range is also from minus infinite to plus infinite. Okay? Now, one question many times asked, it is known as student's t-test. So why this test is known as student's t-test? Basically, one scientist is there. His name was W.S. Gojet. So what he has done, he has discovered this t-test, but he was working in a private company. And during working in that private company, he discovered this t-test. But the problem is that in that company, he cannot publish his work by his own name. Because sometimes many companies, private sector, they didn't allow you to publish your work by his own name. So he had used the pet name. You can say pen name, not pet name, pen name. That is student. So he has published his work by his pen name, that is student. That's why this t-test is known as student's t-test. I think it's okay.
Yes, sir.
So now I think you are able to understand why this is known as student's t-test. So already this is used for the comparison between two groups, and the sample size should be small, that is less than 30. Now we have given the formula how these things. And the scientist who had discovered the t-test, W.S. Gojek in 1908. Okay. And the range of the t-test is also from minus infinite to plus infinite. So now we have two tests. One is Jack test, one is t-test. Both tests are used for comparison between the two groups. The range is same in both the tests, like Jack test minus infinite to plus infinite, t-test minus infinite to plus infinite. But the condition is that Jack test is used when the sample size is large, more than 30. T-test is used when the sample size is less than 30. Okay, and W.S. Gojek is the scientist who discovered this t-test. And why this is known as student t-test? Because he cannot place his work by his own name. So he has used a pen name, that is student. That is why this test is known as student's t-test. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so what are the assumptions? Like we have some assumptions. When to apply a test, same way, we have some assumptions when to apply the. Hello? Okay, so the assumptions are number one.
Sir, we can't hear you.
So you can't. What they do then?
Sir, your voice is so
Sorry,
breaking,
your
sir.
voice,
We can't
your voice
understand anything.
between, sir.
For everyone, only few. Nobody me.
It's for everyone, sir.
Everyone. So what we can do? Actually, internet is like this one only. Okay, let us wait few minutes. Then again we can start. No, internet is only bad in the iZone only, or your place is also.
Our place also, sir, sometimes it goes off.
Okay. Okay, let's just you see the PPT little bit. We will just go ahead with small things. You see the my PPT is visible now.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, let us see the assumptions for t-test. Number one, the data must be sampled from a normally distributed populations. And now question is that what is normally distributed population? What is normally distributed population? Okay, this is Kunsang Lamu. Kunsang Lamu.
Yes, sir.
So what is normally distributed population?
Sir, population.
Yeah, normally distributed. I'm saying what is normal distribution? Normal distribution. Yes. Any idea? Normal distribution or symmetrical distribution? Any idea?
No, sir.
No. Okay. He say,
Sir,
yeah, he say, what is
sir.
this normal distribution? Symmetrical or normal distribution?
The normal distributed population is symmetric, sir. Here, the mean is equal to mode equal to median.
Yes. Any other thing?
So, I don't know.
Okay. In the normal distribution means mean, median, mode will lie on the same point. Second thing is that skewness and kurtosis will be 0. In your internal assessment, one question is there. So if for the symmetrical distribution, the skewness will be 0. So if the skewness and kurtosis will be 0, then that population will be also symmetrical or normal distribution. Symmetrical distribution, normal means, normally we say here normal distribution means here the mean, basically we say it is 0 and variance 1. That we say normal distribution. Now second condition is same. Sample had been selected randomly. That is the same like Z-test. Sample size should be small. In the Z-test, the sample size will be more than 30, but in the t-test, the sample size is less than 30. And population standard deviation is unknown. Okay. Now next is, basically we have 3 types of t-test. So first I will explain basically what is these 3 types of t-test. So number 1, comparison between, that is known as one sample t-test. So what is one sample t-test? My voice is okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So there are 3 types of t-test. The number 1 is one sample t-test. Number 2 is independent sample t-test. Number 3 one is known as the dependent sample t-test. Okay, so now first I will speak about the one sample t-test. What is one sample t-test? Like in our dairy farm, if I say there are 500 animals, and out of 500 animals, 200 animals are in lactation, means they are giving milk. And one day what happened? One animal from our dairy farm which is in lactation is missing. So what the university people have done, means employee, they are searching that animal. And they found that animal with a person maybe living in nearby place, you can say Sifir, Bongkon, any place. Now question is that that person is saying this animal is not from the dairy farm of the CBSE and AH. But college employee, they are saying no, this animal belongs to their dairy farm. I think you understand what I have said.
Yes, sir.
Means one day what happened, one animal from our dairy farm is missing. So our employee have got that animal with a person somewhere, maybe in Sifir, Bongkon, like that, they have found that animal. But there is a conflict. The person is saying that this animal is which animal, means this is not from their dairy farm, but the employee of our college, they are saying, no, this animals belongs to our dairy farm animal. Now, if we have such type of condition, then we have to apply the one sample t-test. So what we do, we just, if that animal is in lactation, we can record the milk yield of that animal, and we have to compare that animal's milk yield with the other animals which are there in our dairy farm. So basically here we are testing one animal's record with other animals' record. That's why this is known as one sample t-test. It's okay?
Sir, please tell again.
Yeah, I'm saying here what we are doing, we are comparing the one animal's milk yield with the other animals which are there in our dairy farm. So one sample basically we are testing. That's why this is known as one sample t-test. It's okay?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now second is the independent sample t-test. First I will explain one by one, then independent, or you can say unpaired sample t-test. What is this one? Like if we want to compare, we have conducted test maybe in two groups. Two groups means maybe in the second year and third year, or second year and first year. We have means like some record of the second year class and some records of the first year class. Now we are going to compare. So here if you see, second year is the in separate class and first year is the separate class. So what we have done, we have conducted one test, maybe out of 100 marks, and now we want to see which class performance is better, first year or second year. Now we are comparing the two class, first year and second year. Now we have conducted one test and we recorded their marks. So on the marks, we have to select which class performance is better. So this type of comparison is known as independent sample t-test. Why this is known as independent? Because second year is the separate class and third year is the first year is the separate class and second year is also separate class. Means the students in both the class are different. They are not the same or they are not the related. So t-test is used for the comparison between two groups, and if the two groups are independent, then we go for independent sample t-test.
Yes, sir.
Now third one is known as dependent or paired sample t-test. What is the meaning of this one? Like we have selected 30 students from your class and this is the AGB course. So before the start of this course, we conducted one exam and we have recorded your marks. Now at the end of the year, again we conducted the exam, but the condition is that the question paper will be same. Same question paper we have given when you join the second year, and same question paper we have given when you completed the second year. Now we want to know whether any difference is there before and after this course. So this is known as dependent sample t-test. Here one thing is important. Here the persons or students are same. The only thing is that in one case they are giving the exam before the year, before start of the course, and in one condition they are giving the exam, means they are after the end of the course. So basically we are comparing before and after the course, but the samples are the individuals or the students are same. This is known as unpaired or dependent sample test. Any confusion?
So one more time.
Yeah, I'm saying like in second year, I have taken only second year class. We are conducting one exam before the start of the year, means second year. And at the end of the second year, again we conducted the exam. Now we want to compare both the, means both your marking before the course and after the course. So here, what is there? The students are same. They are, means like if I have selected 30 students, so students will be same before the course and after the course. Only difference will be there in the time points. One is before the start of the at the start of the second year. One will be at the end of the second year. So here, gap will be only time, but your sample will be same, means on which you are applying the test or you are conducting. So that's why this is known as paired sample t-test or dependent sample t-test. Here the only thing is that we are just same class, two different time points we are conducting the exam. In the independent, samples are different because one is second year, one is first year. But here only second year is there. The only thing is that we are taking the yes. It's okay. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so we have discussed about the three types of t-test. Now I have given here the formula. Applications of students t-test, that is the comparison of a sample mean with a population means. This is one sample t-test, and I have simply given the formula, and you have to remember what is the formula of this one. Second thing, testing difference between means of two samples, that is independent samples. So this already here, what is the condition and what is the formula, and then we have given one example. Okay, so now I will discuss this example, that is independent sample t-test. Now I'm just reading this example. Two types of drugs were used on 6 and 8 patients for reducing their body weights. Drug A was imported and drug B indigenous. The decrease in weight after using the drugs for 5 months was as follows. Drug A and drug B. What we have done, we have taken two drugs. Drug A we have given. Hello? We have two drugs.
Sir.
Drug. Yes, yes.
Sir, I think your slide is not moving, sir. We can only see the first slide, that application,
Sir, the
first
slides, they are
application
not
only.
moving.
Okay, just wait.
Yes, sir. Now it came.
Okay, no problem. I have just removed, no, just for wait, Now it's there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Just increasing the size of the slide, PPT mode, putting. Okay, now this example is there.
Yes, sir.
So we have used two types of drugs, drug A and drug B. Drug A we have given to the 6 patients and drug B we have given the 8 patients. If you see here, and we have recorded in the decrease in their body weight. So now what is there? The question is that, is there a significant difference in the efficacy of two drugs? If not, which drug should you buy? So now this is the question, which drug is better for the reduction in body weight or decrease in body weight? Drug A we given to the 6 patients, drug B we given to the 8 patients. So sample size is less than 30. So we have to apply the t-test. And which t-test? That is independent sample t-test. Why it is independent sample t-test? Yes. Who will speak? Why it is independent sample t-test? Sarvari. Sarvari.
Yes, sir.
Why this is independent sample t-test?
Sir, the two drugs are different drugs, and their action will
No.
be different.
No, drugs are different. That is okay. But
And the
that,
patient
because of
number.
that, why it is independent? Because the patients are different in both the groups. Means drug A we are giving to different patient, drug B we are giving to different patients. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Like drug A, we are giving 6 patients. They are not the same like drug B. Drug B, we are giving the 8, but they are different. So here both the samples are different. That's why this is the independent sample t-test. Okay. Now, first condition, what we do, we have to make the null hypothesis. Now you know what is null hypothesis? Null hypothesis means hypothesis of no difference. Okay, so what will be our null hypothesis in this case? Let us take the hypothesis, null hypothesis, that there is no significant difference in the efficacy of two drugs. I think it's okay. Means we are comparing the two drugs. So null hypothesis means there is no difference in the efficacy of two drugs. Means you can say T1 is equal to T2. That will be your null hypothesis. It's okay?
Yes, sir.
So what will be our alternative hypothesis? Bishan Singh, what will be our alternative hypothesis?
Alternative hypothesis should be difference. Means this efficacy of the drug should be different on different patients.
Okay, good. Bishan, good. Means alternative will be there is difference in the efficacy of two drugs. That will be our alternative hypothesis. Okay. Now, first of all, we have written we can do. First, we have recorded the x1, that is reduction in body weight of the first. We have taken their mean value, and then we have subtracted from each value to their mean value, that is -1. So this will come 0. Then we have squared that one, that is 1, 4, 16, 9, like this one. And same thing we have performed for the second group also, decrease in body weight. If you see this table, it's very easy. We have done it earlier also in a different form. Simply we have taken the mean, and here x1 means that value, x1 bar means the mean of x1, means average, just like 36 divided by 6, that will be 6. This table is okay?
Sir, we can't see that slide, sir, that table.
Just wait, I think the internet is not so fast now, so that's why it is coming late. Just wait, huh?
Sir, it came.
Yeah, but actually, why this is coming now like this one? Because the internet is not so fast. That's why changing the slides is taking time. Okay, now you see this slide. We have just it is a table, and in this table, x1 means the decrease in body weight. X1 minus x1 bar means 5 minus x1 bar, that will be 36 upon 6, that will be 6. So 5 minus 6, that will be -1. Then 8 minus 6, that will be +2. Like this one. Then we have squared that value, and same thing we have done for the x2 also. Okay, just see. Any confusion in this table? Anyone? Hello? It's okay.
No, sir.
No, any problem in this table?
Sir, could you please explain it
Yes.
again, sir?
Yeah, that's why I'm asking now. X1 means it is given in the table, means drug A. Drug A means X1. The reduced reduction in body weight we have recorded. So we have taken the total sum of X1, that is 36. So 36 upon, how to calculate the average? 36 upon number of observations, that is 6. So it is coming 6. So now X1 minus X1 bar means we are just 5 minus 6, that is minus 1, 8 minus 6 plus 2, 10 minus 6 plus 4, 4 minus 6 minus 2, 3 minus 6 minus 3, 6 minus 6, 0. It's there, it's okay or not?
Yes, sir.
Same, then we have squared each value. Like 1 square 1, 2 square 4, 4 square 16, minus 2 square 4, minus 3 square 9, 0 square means 0. And same thing we have done for the second drug also. That is 8, 3, 9, 4, 7, 2, 3, 4. Same procedure. If it is okay, then I can move to the next one.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now on next PPT. When it is visible, just tell me. Visible?
Not yet, sir.
No, sir.
Okay, just wait. It came?
No, sir.
No, sir.
It is taking too much time.
It came, sir.
Okay, it is taking too much time. So here you can see that X1 bar we have calculated 36 upon 6, that is 6. X2 bar 40 upon 8, that is 5. Now, according to the formula, we have to calculate the combined standard deviation, that is S. So we have the formula, that is summation of X1 minus X1 bar whole square, X2 minus X2 bar whole square upon N1 plus N2 minus 2. So here we have calculated the summation of X1 minus X1 bar, that is equal to 34 plus 48 we have got from the table. Now this N1 plus N2, N1 means number of observations, how many patients in the first, that is 6, 8 is the second number of patients in the second group, minus 2. This is the formula. You have to put everything in the formula. Then you have to calculate the T value. That is X1 bar minus X2 bar upon S. S means combined standard deviation. And within bracket N1, N2 upon N1 plus N2. So everything you know here, N1 is equal to 6, N2 is equal to 8, And then x1 bar, x2 bar already 6 and 5, and s is we have calculated 2.61. So if you will put everything, then it will come 0.71. T means 0.71. So now here this after 0.71, it is written mu, that is not v, that is mu n1 plus n2 minus 2, that is 6 plus 8 minus 2, 12. So this is the degrees of freedom. So now what T we have calculated here, that is 0.71. But we have to see our calculated T from the table value, and 12 degrees of freedom, that is 2.179. 2.179. So if you have the pen page, just write down. Pen page, write down. You have?
Yes, sir.
Okay, write down. If T calculated, T small t calculated greater than T critical value, greater than small t critical. If T calculated greater than T critical value or table value, critical means table value also, critical or table value, then write down the significant, and just again write down, just arrow, reject the null hypothesis. Reject the null hypothesis. Written.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. One more time.
Okay. T calculated greater than T critical or table value, critical or table value, then arrow significant, and then arrow reject the null hypothesis. It means if T calculated is greater than T tabulated, the result will be significant and we have to reject the null hypothesis. Significant means rejection of null hypothesis. Completed?
Yes, sir.
Now again one more sentence write down. If T critical, if T critical or critical or tabulated, if T critical or tabulated greater than T calculated, then you put arrow non-significant. Okay, and again arrow acceptance of null hypothesis. Acceptance of null hypothesis. Done?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now you see this PPT. Here T calculated value we found 0.71, which we have calculated. And we have been given T tabulated at 12 degrees of freedom and 5% level of significance, that is 2.179. This will be given. T critical or table value is 2.179. So what it means? First condition or second condition means T calculated 0.71, it is less than T tabulated or critical value 2.179. So it will be non-significant. So accept the null hypothesis. It is okay or not?
Yes, sir.
This t tabulated value or critical value will be given. Now, if t calculated is less than t tabulated, so it means non-significant. Non-significant means accept the null hypothesis. So what was our null hypothesis? Our null hypothesis was that both the drugs are equally effective. So what will be our answer? Since there is no significant difference in the efficacy of imported and indigenous drugs, there will be no difference. Means because indigenous drug will be cheaper. But our result, what will be our result? You can say that both the drugs are equally effective. Means we are accepting the null hypothesis. Yeah, please tell. Safira. You understand this one or not? Rida Fatma.
Yes, sir.
Rida, you understand what is going on?
Yes, sir.
Just I am telling that these things are, maybe it is first time you are looking significant, non-significant, and what is t-tabulated critical value. So it is looking a little bit complicated, but it's very easy. And sometimes what is there, the online mode, basically everything we cannot explain in the proper way. So, but whatever you have written, you just remember that one. First, we have to make the null hypothesis, means no difference. Then we have to calculate the t calculated. Then with this t calculated, we have to compare with the t tabulated. And based on that comparison, either you have to accept the null hypothesis or reject the null hypothesis. So that will be your result. Here, both the drugs are equally effective. So one is imported, one is indigenous. So now we suggest that you go for indigenous because both the drugs are equally. So why unnecessary we will take the drugs from outside? Maybe that is more costly also. So we will go for indigenous drug. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So for today it is enough. Next time we will discuss about the next t-test, means third example, then chi-square test, like that one. And one more thing, your AGB practical will be on the Wednesday 2 to 4 for both the batches. Hello?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
And this only one day both the batches, and Thursday morning batch, it will be biochemistry. So AGB practical will be only on Wednesday 2 to 4.
Yes, sir.
Okay? For both the batches.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now you can leave, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.